Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to being here. I'm Liz, your host here at Crimes Untold. And today this is actually going to be part one of three for the crime that has happened over the last few weeks. And technically, a lot of the unidentifieds I'm going to be talking about in the third part is basically throughout the entire month of February to now in March. So, first things first, we're going to talk about the murder of John Walter Lay. This was a hate crime. So, 5 weeks following his murder, the man that's suspected of the murder is in custody. This man in particular has been known to target his neighbor, which was John Walter Lay, by making slurs and threats against him due to his sexual orientation. Back on February 2nd, the 52-year-old was killed at a dog park in Tampa. He was gunned down, to be more precise. The suspect in question is Gerald Declan Radford, who's 65. He was arrested Friday, March 8th with the charge of second-degree murder. It seems that John Lay had sent a video to one of his friends just the day prior to him dying about somebody who was threatening him and making threats towards him, and he said that this person was Deck. It is believed that he's referring to Radford in this correspondence. Radford has since stated that this murder was justified due to it being an act of self-defense, but it doesn't appear to be self-defense at face value. Police were called just a little bit before 8 a.m. on February 2nd, of which they discovered a man suffering from a gunshot wound and needed life-saving assistance. Following an investigation, like I previously mentioned, they were able to determine that Gerald Radford was the shooter. However, Radford is claiming the Stand Your Ground law, which is a self-defense law that first became an issue for the nation, causing controversy back in 2012 with the shooting of Trayvon Martin, in which that shooting happened also in Florida, but in Sanford, Florida. So, John Lay died at the scene. Obviously, he has to be brought to the hospital to be pronounced dead, but he did die due to this gunshot wound, obviously, due to the fact that Gerald Radford has been charged with second-degree murder. Next on our list is Mark Murchikoff. So, Mark Murchikoff killed Clarabelle Estrella back in 2023. And the reason why I'm talking about this now is because he's actually in court because of it, and it's still ongoing, just like our previous case. So this man stands accused of the crime after his video went on Facebook. In this video, he claims it was generated via AI, or artificial intelligence, and in it, it apparently features his confession of the murder. So he was arrested in connection to the fatal stabbing of Clarabelle Estrella back in July of 2023 in San Mateo, California. Following his arrest, the San Mateo Police Department stated that Murchikoff filmed Estrella's final moments, then posted the video on Facebook, after which he fled from the scene. This was also after he posted the video. So he literally killed her, filmed her, killed her, and still filming, posted it, and then fled. Why would you do this? I have no idea. He has also pled not guilty during a court date back in August of 2023. So the whole claim he has with AI is that he acknowledges that he killed her. Like, he admits he killed her. The whole video was generated via artificial intelligence. And like I mentioned, this case is still ongoing. They're still currently in court at this time. Next is the Madeline Soto case. So Stephen Stearns has been charged with possession of SA material and sexual battery. The case of Madeline Soto was extremely prevalent for the whole U.S. So Madeline was found dead after being missing for 5 days. Multiple court documents and reports that were leaked from the courts state that she unfortunately had been a victim of SA for 2 years prior to her going missing. And Stearns was arrested in connection to the, like I mentioned above, charges prior to the discovery of Madeline Soto's body. So it also came out that within the arrest affidavit that this abuse started back in 2022 when Madeline was 11. Images and videos were found on Stearns' phone. He has not been charged in connection to her murder, but he is the prime suspect since the discovery of her body in Osceola County. She was last seen going to school or on her way to school, in which Stearns never dropped her off. So there is video evidence of him on February 26th in which at 7:35 a.m. he is seen throwing away things in the dumpsters at an apartment complex in Kissimmee, Florida. It also is thought that Stearns moved her body earlier that day and that she had already been dead at that time when he was throwing things away. So the significance of Stearns is that he was actually dating Madeline Soto's mother. So that's how he was always in contact with Madeline prior to her going missing and her death. There has been a recent update for the Brian Kohberger trial. So the update is that it goes into connection with the update I gave the last time. So his lawyers basically said that his indictment should be thrown out. And the update is that the judge that was presented this motion to toss out the indictment from the grand jury has dismissed that. His legal team has now started appealing to the Supreme Court in regards to this case. They're appealing to have the case reviewed in regards to having the indictment thrown out, like I previously talked about in a prior video. I will link it in the card above. And the next actual hearing that's scheduled for this murder case is set to happen on April 17th. James Crumbley now stands trial for his 4 manslaughter charges related to the Oxford High School shooting committed by his son, Ethan Crumbley. His wife, Jennifer Crumbley, was found guilty following her trial on 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter in connection to the shooting, and her character was absolutely demolished during this trial. Like, demolished. I can only assume that the same will happen to James with James Crumbley during this trial. We are only at day 2 of the trial. So as I was researching this was on Friday evening. Obviously, they have been in court today, and I won't include what happened today in this video, but I will include it in a future video. The context of what they're focusing on is the movements of the couple that had happened or transpired on the morning of November 30th, 2021, which is the day of the shooting. This also includes the meeting that the couple had at the school when they left the parking lot at 10:57 as well, when he started working for DoorDash, and basically his working, the bullets found at the school, which was about 50 rounds fired, the cable lock for the gun, text between the Crumbleys about going to the horse barn, and the meeting of them with their son post his arrest, and it's a video of it. This is all the main focus of the first 2 days of trial. So I will say the difference between his parents is that James Crumbley has since admitted that he failed to do even the smallest thing to save the 4 that had died in connection to his son's shooting. So at least he admits his guilt in regards to the crime. Jennifer has never done so. So this is a huge difference between the parents. James seems more understanding what happened and acknowledges that he's responsible for what happened. So I don't know if they will take that into consideration when it comes to his sentence, whether he's found guilty or not guilty. I would assume he's going to be found guilty just like his wife was, but you never know with cases like this. So next we're going to talk about Dustin Mark Duran. He was charged in connection to the killing of his wife, Caitlin Nefziger, or Nefziger. This charge is second-degree murder charge that came from the shooting death of his wife. So this crime wasn't public knowledge until after he was found. Initially, an Amber Alert was issued on the couple's children, ages 4 and 1, but nothing was released about the mom, about Caitlin. Thankfully, there was a mother and daughter that were traveling here in New Hampshire, and they actually saw his white Subaru, and that was noted in the alert. They called the police, and they followed his car, and then he was taken into custody. Obviously, the children were taken into Child Protective Services custody as well. Duran was taken into custody and is being held without bail. His first hearing, which is a probable cause hearing, will happen this week on Wednesday, on March 13th. He is a retired Marine that moved to New Hampshire and was in Berlin looking at an apartment following his desire to join a group here in New Hampshire, which is the Free People movement, which, when you read about it, it has cult written all over it. But I'll leave that up to your interpretation. And the last two things I'm going to talk about is Kayla Montgomery and Robin Howington. So Kayla Montgomery, a lot of people are upset about this news. She has since been paroled. She is the estranged wife of Adam Montgomery, who was found guilty in connection to the murder of his daughter, 5-year-old Harmony Montgomery. So this case has caused a huge uproar in the local community of in Manchester, in New Hampshire, and nationally. She is a key part of the case in connection to the murder of Harmony Montgomery. And in my mind, she should be charged as an accessory, whether she was present for the crime or not. She was in the car when it took place. She heard Harmony make her last noise. She's an accessory. She was there when the murder happened, and she should be charged as well. That's how I feel. I don't know how everybody else feels. I see a lot of it on Facebook with all of the local groups, as I do reside in New England. So it's something that's a daily basis, a daily occurrence. You see everything. Yeah, I'll leave that up to your own personal interpretation, whoever is watching this. And lastly, Robin Howington. Robin Howington was found guilty of killing her 5-year-old daughter, Destiny Oliver. So this verdict came 4.5 years after the murder took place. Howington shot at close range when her daughter was just laying on the couch watching some Netflix on September 14th, 2019. Apparently, at close range, the bullet went through the remote. It went through her chest. Destiny's 2-year-old brother was at the scene as well. Howington has stated that it was actually her brother that killed Destiny and not Robin. They did talk about this, that it could potentially have been him shooting the semi-automatic pistol, but that's not the only thing she was found guilty of. With Robin, she was also found guilty of tampering with evidence, attempting to tamper with evidence, making a false report, and 2 counts of aggravated neglect of a child, one for Destiny and one for her son. She should have been found guilty of felony murder, but she was actually found guilty of reckless homicide, which only carries a sentence of 2 to 4 years. I know, mind-blowing, irritating, and annoying. But because of her other charges, she will actually be facing a sentence a lot longer than that. So that, my friends, is part 1 of this true crime recap that will be going up this week. Like I mentioned before, there would be a video Monday and Thursday, but because this is going to be a 3-part, I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then my normal upload for this week. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.